Hi, boys and girls. Time for reading. Yesterday in reading, I asked you to start thinking about an animal that you would like to investigate. I'd like to take it back a step, and I would like to talk to you about living things and non living things. We talked about in science before about the fact that we need food, water, we need shelter. There's certain things that we need to survive. All living things need certain things to live. Living things are people, animals, and plants. They need food, water, air, and space to live. They grow and change. Living things reproduce. They make new living things like themselves. What's non living? Non living things do not need food, air, and water. They do not grow and change. What are some non living things? A rock is non living, air, water are non living, a ball, dirt, they're non living things. So now that we know what non living and living are, and we know that animals are living, we know animals have needs just like we have needs. Animals need food and water. Animals need food and water to grow and stay healthy. Some animals eat plants and some other animals eat meat. Still others eat both plants and animals and meat. Animals need air. Animals need oxygen, a gas that's in the air. Land animals use their lungs to breathe in the oxygen. Some water animals, like whales, have lungs. They breathe air. Fish do not have lungs, they use gills to get oxygen. But all living things need that oxygen. Shelter. Most animals need shelter. A shelter is a place where an animal can be safe. An animal may use a plant as a shelter. It may dig a hole in the ground. It may even use another animal as a shelter. One animal that does this is a clownfish. Space. Animals need space to grow. They need space to move around and find food. Animals need space for shelter. They need space to take care of their young. Okay, there are lots of different kinds of animals. Animals have different shapes and sizes. They have body parts that help them move in different ways. Some animals walk and run, others fly or swim. Animals have different body coverings. Some have fur or hair, others have scale and feathers. Mammals have fur and hair. Most mammals have live young. A young mammal drinks milk from their mother's body. We are an example of mammals. Anteaters are another example. The golden lion tamarin's another example, and a jaguar is another example you see here of a mammal. Birds. A bird has feathers. Birds also have a beak and wings. Most birds use wings to fly. Birds lay eggs and they find food for their young. There's a toucan, a quetzal, and a parrot. Reptiles. Reptile has dry skin. It is covered with scales. Most reptiles lay eggs. Most reptiles have 4 legs, but snakes are reptiles with no legs. Turtles are reptiles. They have 4 legs or flippers. A turtle also has a shell on its back. Amphibians. Most amphibians have smooth, wet skin. Toads are amphibians. with rough, bumpy skin. Amphibians lay their eggs in water. Young amphibians live in water. Most grown amphibians live on land. Two examples given here are frogs and toads. Fish. A fish has body parts that help them live in the water. Most fish have scales. The scales keep their bodies safe. Fish have fins to swim and have gills to take in oxygen. The examples they have here are piranha and a silver dollar fish. Insects. An insect has 3 body parts and 6 legs. A hard shell keeps its body safe. Some animals look like insects, but they are not. A spider has 8 legs. It is not an insect. All right, friends, those are all of our animal groups. So now you're going to take those ideas that you had for an animal report and you're going to make a final decision. Which animal do you really want to learn about? And then I have an example of an actual animal report that one of my students did. He's no longer at Falls Lenox, he's at OFIS now. But this is an example of a report that one of my students put together. And I'm going to be helping you do this. I'll be giving you a template and helping you find the information. And we find the information by doing research. And we can do research by looking at many different places. Most of our research is going to be done using the computer. You could also use books, magazines. You could even watch maybe a video that has a lot of facts and information in it as long as it's accurate. Lots of different places that we can find facts. And when you do research, you don't simply copy it. You put it into your own words, you read, and you edit things, and you make sure that it makes sense. We're going to find out and answer the questions that I posted for you yesterday. So, as I said, this is one of my students' reports. What does your animal look like? Now, I want you to look at this and give me a thumbs up if you think this student did a good job. They have green skin. Some frogs even have blue skin. Frogs can be big. Good details, you think? Pretty good. Looks like he's missing one capital, but all in all, pretty good. Describe your animal's habitat. And we know a habitat is where an animal lives. They live in a swamp. They live in the swamp. They hibernate in the winter by digging into the mud. Good description, right? Do we know where the animal's habitat is? Yes, we do. Next question, what does your animal eat? What helps your animal find or get its food? They eat lizards, cockroaches, and mice, and other frogs. Now, he did not quite explain what helps the animal get its food. If we did some research on the frog, we would know that the frog has, some sticky pads on his tongue that helps him catch his food. I would think his legs would be something that would help him get his food, but I would have to do the research on that and make sure I found that information before I could put it into my report. Is your animal prey or predator? Frogs are prey and predator. Frogs are prey to birds. Fun fact number 1, they live in ponds, rivers, and fields and sand dunes. Some frogs you can see through. What do you think? Is that a pretty interesting fact? I would say that was pretty interesting. Some frogs have red eyes. The biggest frog is the Goliath frog. Interesting fun fact? I would say yes. And another thing I allowed my students to do, as long as it was a kid-friendly video, I allowed my students to attach a link at the end and put a picture of a video, and we put that in. So now that you know what an animal report looks like, You are going to make your final decision. What do you want to learn about? And then I'm going to start to get some things together so we can be ready to work on this project together. Thumbs up. Awesome. Have a good day. Don't forget to go to Google Classroom.